Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. This is your Chelsea versus Barnsley preview for the Carabao Cup third round. Some of you are probably looking at this game and going, there's no point playing this, what's the point? Well, this is a good opportunity to get some players that haven't got any minutes yet to play and show what they can do, as well as fitness. It was clear in our last two Premier League games that there's a little bit of a fitness issue. Some players are getting tired very quickly. Some are saying it's because of, pre-season, which we never had, but that doesn't just stand for us, that stands for everyone else. So, we got to look at ourselves and just try and get that problem sorted ourselves. Now, in regards to this, I am going to talk about the lineup and what 11 I would play, as well as focusing on one player who's been in the news as of yesterday and today because of a possible transfer away from the club, which was a little bit shocking because no one really expected this to happen. I brushed it off as a rumour. It might still just be a rumour, but now you're getting people like Simon Johnson talking about it, and he's well connected with the club. So, it's a little bit of a concern. But I'll dip into that just a little bit whilst I'm giving you my lineup. And Frank Lampard in the press conference gave us an update for Edouard Mendy, who is having a medical as we speak. And it's looking like he will be an official Chelsea player possibly tomorrow, the day after, somewhere there. So Frank Lampard's spoken about it. It's definitely happening. And once again, we told you guys, don't panic. It's happening. Relax. It's cool. And it's about to happen. So, take our word for it. Trust me, when things are happening, they're happening. As simple as that. Now, let's get into it. Chelsea versus Barnsley. Barnsley, who currently sit 20th in the Championship. Some of you may look at that and go, this is going to be a piece of cake, lads. This is an easy day at the office. It should be, but we got to think of rotation, and we got to think about players that haven't played, and we got to give them minutes because this is the Carabao Cup after all. It's the lowest competition out of the four that we are competing in, and it's right that we do rotate and bring in some of those players, which means that the level overall is going to dip a little bit. Hopefully, we still have enough on the pitch to be able to get the job done against Barnsley because, yes, it's Barnsley. All due respect to Barnsley, I'm not disrespecting you guys, but, we're Chelsea. That's just the truth. So, yeah, let's get into the lineup. Now, Frank Lampard did confirm a few things in the press conference in regards to fitness and in regards to some players that are going to start or might start. So, he said this. Lampard says Thiago Silva is in the squad tomorrow. He says, I am not sure if that's a birthday present or not, but he is fit. It was Thiago Silva's birthday just very recently. So, yeah. He also says, Lampard adds, Ben Chilwell is in the squad for tomorrow. Pulisic and Ziyech are getting close as well. So, we've got Thiago Silva fit. Ben Chilwell is in the squad, so I'm expecting him to play because fitness is fitness. And thinking about the game on Saturday, West Brom. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so we've got Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. It's only 3 days. For those that are playing their first game, I'm sure that's going to be focused on very light training and then a bit of recovery into the lead up for the West Brom game. Because Silva and Chilwell are two names that we are going to have in our starting lineup from now on. So, if they're playing tomorrow, it's crucial that they get the right recovery so then they're ready and at 100% for the West Brom game on Saturday because that is fast. It's only 3 days. It's not a long time. So recovery needs to be key. So taking this information on board and taking the factors as to the Liverpool game, who played well, who didn't, who looked tired, who didn't, I've assembled an 11 that I think is just the most reasonable to go with. So let's get into the lineup. I would go with, Frank Lampard has confirmed Willy Caballero is starting tomorrow, 100%. So, Kepa might have played his last game, if I'm being completely honest, because Mendy is going to arrive and he will be in the squad for the West Brom game on Saturday. Mendy will be available. So, I'm expecting Mendy to play on Saturday. With all due respect to Kepa, I don't think he's going to make it. So, yeah, if Mendy impresses, we might have seen the last for Kepa, for a while. So, anyway, Willy Caballero to start. I would go for 4-3-3. I would just go back to basic simply because of availability. Players that it's hard to pick a lineup based on the Liverpool game, based on fitness, and based on the upcoming Premier League game where we need all of our best players available. It's difficult. So this is why I've gone for 4-3-3. I think regardless of who we play, there should still be enough quality to beat Barnsley. You know, there just should be. No matter who we pick, any 11 that we choose should be getting the job done against Barnsley. At home, at the Bridge, surely. So this is why I'm confident, and I would go with a 4-3-3. I would go with Azpilicueta right back. He didn't play against Liverpool, so it's only right that Reece James gets a bit of a breather, gets to recover. Let Azpi have some minutes at right back. Left back, Chilwell is available. I would start Chilwell. If he's fit, start Chilwell because it gets some minutes in him and it gets the rhythm going. So then hopefully for West Brom, he's got momentum and hopefully his legs are fitter, you know. So I would go with Chilwell, but if he's not 100% and he's going to come on in the game, then we start with Emerson. So I'm going to cut on the graphic Chilwell and Emerson. You can choose. The two centre-backs, same story. Thiago Silva is fit. It's best he plays. He hasn't played yet. It's best he plays. So I would go with him and Tomori, just to see how that goes. Zuma is rested because Zuma will be playing alongside Thiago Silva against West Brom. So if it's too soon for Silva to play both, we can play Tomori and Rudiger. But if it's okay for Silva to play tomorrow and against West Brom, we go with Tomori and Silva and we see how they do together. The three in front in midfield, I would go with Jorginho simply because I'm not going to play him against West Brom. Simple as that. And we haven't got to worry about counter-attacking. We haven't got to worry about pressure. It's Barnsley. Jorginho is going to have all the freedom on the ball to be able to press and try and pinpoint passes, which is what he's good at. So I would just play Jorginho. He'll have a field day. Unless if Barnsley have something I don't know about. Again, all due respect. If Barnsley do have players that I'm not aware of that are beasts in midfield and they dominate Jorginho, then yes, he's in trouble. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So Jorginho in front of them, again, based on availability, based on fitness, based on players that played against Liverpool and haven't played against Liverpool, and we got West Brom coming up, just selection and a bit of rotation. I would go with Barkley and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Let Loftus-Cheek have some minutes and try and build his confidence up against a lower side. And let Barkley have some minutes because, as far as I'm concerned, he's not going to play against West Brom either. So I would go with Barkley and Loftus-Cheek. Now, there is a little bit of a dilemma here and there's a little bit of a question mark. Should Havertz play in midfield tomorrow against Barnsley? We saw him against Liverpool. He got taken off early. Again, for me, he wasn't in his position. And Lampard, I'm sure, knows that. Play him in his position. You know, so that's why I'm considering maybe it'll be good for him if he plays tomorrow. Especially against a lower side where he can, you know, start getting into the rhythm, and then hopefully against West Brom, he's in that bit of momentum rather than just throwing him back into a Premier League game. Maybe it's good for him to play tomorrow as well. He's fit. Why not? So if that's the case, I would play Havertz and Loftus-Cheek just in front of Jorginho. So anyway, now if we move to the front three, there's news in regards to Pulisic and Ziyech, and as I've said already, they are getting close and they trained. Here's a picture of them. They trained and they're looking well, they're looking good, so I am expecting both to be available for West Brom. They're looking good. So bearing that in mind, they're not available for tomorrow. We've got limitations on our wings. Because of that, I would go with Mason Mount on the left, and I'll tell you why on the left very shortly. I would go with Tammy Abraham up top, because it's lower opposition. Tammy can get minutes. Hopefully he can get on the score sheet. It keeps him happy. Same could be said for Giroud. Maybe Giroud to come on later. Who knows? And Callum Hudson-Odoi. I wanted to end the video on this one. Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side. Not on his preferred left-hand side. Because I don't think Mason Mount looks comfortable at all on the right-hand side. We saw against Liverpool, he looked lost. Whereas we've seen him play on the left-hand side, especially towards the end of last season, and when pressing, he looks comfortable. And I think tomorrow we're going to be very offensive, so Mason Mount can get involved. Even if he's on the left-hand side, he can get involved. But we'll see what Frank Lampard goes for. Even if it's the other way around, it's Barnsley. We should be getting the job done against Barnsley. Now, Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right-hand side seems to perform better than he does on his preferred left-hand side. And we've seen examples of that last season. he plays on his right-hand side. The way he can dribble, he can overlap, he can cut in. He's very good. On the left-hand side, he just cuts in. And I know on the right foot, on the left-hand side, that's a very comfortable thing to do. But for some odd reason, just his overall performances seem better when he plays on the right. So that's why, personally, I'm just preferably going to play him on the right. Callum Hudson-Odoi was in the news, as I said at the beginning of this video, about a possible move. Now, that's my lineup, by the way. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions on that one. If you have any adjustments, let me know. Again, I would love to see it. A lot of talk has been said about Callum Hudson-Odoi. And against Liverpool, I said in my preview, I would have played him. I would have started him. There's been rumours from this morning and from last night saying that there possibly has been a fallout between Lampard and Callum Hudson-Odoi. I'm not so sure that's actually the case. I don't think there's been a fallout. I can understand why Callum wouldn't be happy. He's not seeing any minutes whatsoever. I know it's 2 games into the season, but he's just been, at opportunities where he should be playing, especially with Ziyech and Pulisic out. He should be playing, but he hasn't. So I can understand his frustration. Willian and Pedro are gone. Our whole idea was that, okay, cool, we're going to have Ziyech, Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi. Fantastic. Ziyech and Pulisic are injured. Hudson-Odoi is still not playing. Instead, we're putting Havertz and Werner in places that they don't normally play in. We're putting Mason Mount in a position where we have Callum Hudson-Odoi available. It's just, why? Why? Some would argue that it's tactical. I'm sorry, I just think Callum Hudson-Odoi has the attributes to get a job done. And the only way we're going to see that is if he's playing regular minutes. The only way he's going to get better, much like we saw with Mason Mount, much like we saw with Tammy, is for him to play regularly. Reece James, another example. He needs to play regularly. Is he going to play fantastic every week? No. We've seen those young players have shockers at times, and we've seen them play absolutely brilliant. Callum Hudson-Odoi was the first graduate to make it into this squad, and yet now he's still not getting a sniff in. There's 2 options here. Frank Lampard's not happy with him because maybe Callum Hudson-Odoi has an attitude issue. He's not performing well in training. But I don't get that sentiment from Callum Hudson-Odoi. I see him as a serious player with good talent that is ready to take himself to the next level. So, is it tactical? As far as I'm concerned, everything is there for him to be playing. And if he doesn't play tomorrow, I'm gonna be surprised. I'm gonna be surprised. Now, again, we're not at the training ground. We don't know what's going on. There's, as I said, a chance that Callum Hudson-Odoi might not be performing. Lampard's not convinced, whereas the others are. That's a possibility. But when we've heard from him, we've seen what he's about. I find it difficult to believe that. I find it difficult that he's not training well or his attitude stinks. I just don't think so. I just don't think so. Anyway, there's rumours now that clubs are going to be sniffing around and there's a possible chance of a loan move. I'm against that. I'm against that. Because if we send Callum Hudson-Odoi on loan, well, what wingers have we got left? We've got rid of Willian and Pedro. We've got Ziyech, Pulisic. That's it. So what happens to rotation? Are we going to stick Werner on the side now when he's not playing up front? Whenever we want to rotate? Are we going to stick Havertz on the wing? It's just not ideal. Play everyone in their positions and try and get the best out of them. That's just, you got to simplify things sometimes. And I feel now this situation is getting a little bit too complicated. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions on that one. Do you agree with my lineup? Would you play Silva? Would you play Chilwell? Would you rest them? Would you play them to get ready for West Brom? Let me know what you would do. Same with Callum Hudson-Odoi. Would you play him? Would you not? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash that like button for me. Let's try and get it to 7,000 likes. Thank you all so much once again. And I will see all of you tomorrow after the Barnsley game, where hopefully we're through to the next round and we haven't been knocked out with the biggest surprise of the night. Fingers crossed. I'll see you tomorrow after the game. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care and peace.